Whoever hit the thumbs up, I appreciate it. Well, that ain't where I wanted that to go. Two thumbs up and 0 people. I don't think I... Hey, Heather, what's going on? How you doing? How's Heather's day going? I've been here about 20 minutes. I had zero intention on fishing today, but I looked at the weather and it says 90% rain tomorrow and Sunday. And as the sun was shining through my living room window, I thought, you know, I better go fishing while I can. And it's the horrible weather tomorrow. There's 2 new people. That one kid and Chase Estridge. How you doing? Welcome in. Thanks for stopping by. But yeah, as that sun was shining through the living room window, and I see 90% chance of rain tomorrow, I said, well, the little sunshine that's beaming, we're gonna make use of it. So here we are. No one's caught anything. No, I haven't seen anyone. There's like a dozen people, but that won't deter us. Never does. Never does, never will. Got 17 folks in here. Double tap that screen if you wouldn't mind. Yeah, I haven't seen anyone get anything yet. Bunch of snags, bunch of stickfish, and that's it. But like I said, I've only been here about 15-20 minutes. I did have this 1/4 ounce jig on that I made. This 1/4 ounce with the bucktail, but no dice. So we put a flicker shad on. Problem with that flicker shad, it's a little too windy. It's not heavy enough. The wind's just catching it, you know? I think there's like an up kick in the wind because every cast the lure goes up in the air higher than it goes out. But like I said, we're gonna keep trying. The river's up. Usually it's like 8 feet to the water. Usually it's about 15 feet. And usually there's a major current when the river's up like this, but they have all the gates are equally open. So that kind of kicks back on the current. Usually they only have 1 or 2 gates open. It's closest and the current is vicious. You need like an ounce of weight. So we'll see what it does for the fishing, having all the gates open. I'm feeling hopeful though, because everybody else is throwing paddle tails and jigs. No one else has you know, X-Wrap or Rapala or flicker shad on. So we might get something. I'm gonna watch you until you're done live. Well, thanks Chase, appreciate it. I usually fish on the jet ski. In the summer, we're jet ski fishing all through here. I didn't even wash my hands proper after work. I left work early. Again, they shut my power off. I mean, not my power, but they're doing line work, repair work. And it's the 2nd day in a row I'm sitting there wrenching, working on a car, and zap, pitch black. No heat, no air tools. I said, that's it. I'm going home. They did it yesterday and today. And like, I don't know why. Like, why would you pick business hours to shut the power off to businesses? You know, like, you figure they'd do that in the evening or the weekend, not prime time business. How did that happen? Look, I can't even get that undone. How'd that happen? That would keep us from getting some snags, having them hooks like that. But it would also keep us from getting some fish. How did that happen? Like, this is like one of them trick puzzles. How did that happen? Like, yeah, this is really like one of them trick puzzles. You know, like the rings or the nails that are twisted together and you got to get them undone. Sorry, y'all. Oh, there, I see how it did it. Dang. All right, let's try this again. Dang, it said there were 16 people in here. Now it says there's one. I don't know about that YouTube. Now it says 8. I wonder how YouTube comes up with that number, you know? It bounces from 1 to 10 to 20 to 1 to 0. But that's okay, because guess what? Whether there's 100 people or 0 people, I'm going to be doing the same exact thing. Yeah, the walleye fishing this year has been horrible for me. It's been non-existent, let's put it that way. I mean, I haven't fished that much this winter, but it's still been non-existent. Oh yeah, I forgot all about that, Heather. Happy Valentine's Day. Hope you got some candy here for some flowers. Or at least some dinner made for you. Izzy Reels, what's going on with the Happy Valentine's Day? You know, the best part about the Valentine's Day is getting that 50% off candy tomorrow. I told myself I'm not buying any marked down candy this year. I go to Revco, or well, CVS it's called now, and they'll have, as soon as you walk in, tables and tables of all the candy marked down. Good stuff too, Reese cups. I don't mind that they're heart-shaped. They still taste like a Reese cup. 50 to 75. Well, they'll do like 50% off the first day, and then the next day they'll be like 75% off. Not gonna be able to get any content this weekend. Family matters. Oh, you'll have it. You'll get it next weekend, Izzy. Yeah, I had zero intentions on fishing today. But then as soon as I seen that 90% chance of rain tomorrow and Sunday, 90% Sunday, 90% Saturday, or next 2 days, 90% both days. See, that was a good cast. It wasn't even so much that it was a good cast, it was more so the wind is chilled out for the moment. There's an American flag over on that building, and it's, you know, sitting still. I like to hold the rod up like this so y'all can see what I'm doing, but I can't get my lure where I want it. I need to hold it straight down like this to get it on bottom. So I gotta choose. Is that a fish? Is that a fish? Nope, that's a snag. Hopefully it breaks free. I just opened that flicker shad from the pack. Yeah, we're free, baby. Nobody really, what's up? Everybody's with the Happy Valentine's Day. I didn't even think once about it being Valentine's Day. I forgot so much so that it was Valentine's Day. I was, my mom texted me actually. She was the first person to remind me about that. She was come with the Happy Valentine's Day. And I thought, oh shoot, my kid's in middle school now. all through grade school, we had to do Valentine's Day cards and make the Valentine's Day box. And I thought, man, I hope they don't do that Valentine's Day stuff no more in middle school. Because if they do, I totally forgot to get my kids set up with stuff for the party and Valentine's Day box. See, it's 5th grade. They call it middle school. I don't know why they changed stuff. When I was in school, middle school was 6th through 8th grade. High school was 9 through 12. And grade school was K through 5. But now they consider 5th grade middle school. Like when my kid went to 5th grade, he went to the middle school. Like left the elementary school, moved over to the elementary, or the middle school. But he's still in 5th grade. To me, 5th grade's still elementary. But to the school, it's middle school. I can see my lure even a couple feet down. The water's cloudy, but it's not that cloudy. I'm surprised nothing don't hit that, you know. But nothing's hit it yet. Heather's saying hi to nobody, really. Oh, that was a horrible cast. Horrible. You see, normally this under me right here is all ground and rocks, but the river's up. So I always wondered if the fish, you know what I mean, if this is all normally ground here, will the fish even want to fool with coming up in here, being that it's underwater, when it's, like, in other words, are they going to break their routine of where they normally go and patrol? Or are they going to stay where the water normally, you know? Like normally the water stops out there. So are they going to stay out there even though the water's up? You know, tell you, don't try to get into a fish's mind. It'll drive you crazy. Crazy. Oh, our line's all tangled. My hand's cold. I didn't come prepared. Well, I didn't plan on staying out here. I didn't even bring a headlamp, which is sketch, because trying to walk up them rocks with no headlamp at night. But I told myself I was gonna be out of here before dark even set in. But I've told myself that before. Won't be the first time I lied to myself. I lie to myself, just not others. Does that make any sense? Skeeter, what's up? You know what, Skeeter? You keep on saying you're new here when you're not new here. Standard moderator. I'm gonna make you a moderator just so you'll stop saying that you're new here. Add as moderator. Standard moderator. I ain't even made anyone a moderator in like 6 months. But there you go. Usually I got gloves on and I don't feel like taking them off. That's one of my excuses that I don't make people mods. I haven't seen a single person get anything yet. There's even people up top, up there fishing too. I got half the mind to go up top and throw. I got half the mind to do a lot of things half the time, but I don't. Man, you know you're hungry when a campfire makes you hungry. Smelling that burnt wood is making me hungry. See the smoke down there? It doesn't smell like food, but when you're starving and don't remember the last time you ate or the last thing you ate, that campfire makes you hungry. Yeah, I had no plans coming out here today, but as soon as I seen 90% chance of rain for the next 2 days, and I wouldn't mind if it was cold, you know, snow, freezing, I can get down with that. But when it's at 30, 40 degree, wet, not cold enough to freeze, Oh, that I don't like to do. But you know, when it's snowy and I can just brush the snow off me or shake like a dog, I'm cool with that. But that 30, 40 degree, rainy, not cold enough to freeze crap, that I can't get down with. J-Dog's in the house. Uh-oh. All hell's gonna break loose. J-Dog's probably never even seen me catch a fish. I think he watches just to see me not catch fish. Nah, I've never seen him come in when I'm catfishing or on the boat. I've only seen him come in when I'm here. And this place is like cursed this year. I'm not even kidding. And it's not just me. You know, there's like a dozen people here daily, and everyone's saying how the bite is just off. Makes you wonder if the East Palestine train derailment didn't have something to do with it, you know? Just a chain reaction of the little fish getting killed, you know, the bait, then the bigger fish getting killed, and then the bigger one dying off, you know. East Palestine's like, I think it's like 80 miles upriver that way. And I believed, like, I read all the reports, and not just from the EPA, even from Orsanco, like the Ohio Valley River Cleanup Association. They do their own independent studies, you know. And even from them, they said that the pollution did not reach the river. It didn't even reach the creeks that reached the rivers. But I just seen a video a couple days ago. JD Vance was in East Palestine, and he stopped by a local creek, and there was a bunch of dead fish and worms, and he took a stick and scraped the river bottom. Did anyone see that? Not the river bottom, but the creek bottom. He standing in a creek bed. The water looked all clean and pristine. He took a stick. He scraped the bottom of the water, like the bed, like a foot below the water, and all this oily, just like all this chemical, you know, the water went straight color change. It went from straight crystal clear to where you could see the bottom. And as soon as he took that stick and scraped it, it released all that, I don't know what it was, that settled into the creek bottom. And the water had that sheen. Looked like someone dumped oil in it. And I'm like, oh no. Maybe them reports I read were wrong. You know what I mean? Because I swim in here. Me and my kid, we eat fish from here, we swim in here. So I was like, as soon as that train derailment happened, I was on it. You know, I read everything I could read about it, checked all the water studies, and everything that I read said not only did no chemicals reach the river, that they didn't even reach the creeks that feed into the rivers, that they dammed it up in time, and everything was safe. But I don't know. It's hard to believe anything you read anymore, even reports from Orsanco, because, you know, they're a non-profit organization independent from the EPA, but that doesn't mean somebody can't get a fat paycheck and, you know, put some false reports out, you know. But some years things are just different. You know, like you have a peach, like I have this blueberry bush, and it grows massive blueberries every year. And then sometimes every so many years, oh look, you got one. Walleye. Uh-oh, that's a good sign. That's a fatty. Check that out. There's a fish for y'all. But I got this blueberry bush, and every so many years it just won't produce any blueberries, and then the next year it comes back better than ever. And I got a apple tree, it does the same thing, always does amazing apples, and then every so many years it just doesn't produce. So maybe this is just an off year for the, you know, walleye. You never know. I'm just comparing it to previous years. I think that's the first fish I've seen caught since I've been here. Hey, Rustic, what's going on? Duke City? Uh-oh, Travis is in the house. How'd you sneak in here, Travis, without me seeing you? Yeah, it'd be a good sandwich. I actually just had some fish. Some pollock. And it was fishy tasting for some reason. I don't know why. I was thinking that maybe it wasn't even pollock I was eating, because usually pollock doesn't have any fish taste. And it was pretty fishy. If you're trying to learn a new way to walleye fish from me, Rustic, you're watching the wrong person. I've done horrible this year walleye fishing. My favorite thing to throw is a paddle tail, like a swim bait with a paddle tail, like a pulsar. But them ain't been done too hot. I've had better luck with like X-Wraps, flicker shads. Turn your camera on to other people so we can learn something. Right? Hey, there's something you can learn. Pink jig head with a white tail. That's the key. There's actually an article about this exact place, Pike Island Dam. It wasn't in Fisherman, but it was like one of them magazines. But they interviewed this old timer that was like a legend here, and he said when they're not biting, the go-to thing is a white curly tail with a pink jig head. I'm about to just put a 1/2 ounce jig head on so I can reach that current seam out there. Snagged up. So how many people got in a fight so far with their significant other on Valentine's Day? How many people had arguments? Say I. I know every time I was dating someone, there was always drama on Valentine's Day about something. Even if there's another one, look, he got another. That's a fatty. It's a sauger. That's a good one. They said it's a sauger. Shoot, they're catching them. They're here. 18-inch sauger. That's a big one. Everybody's moving closer to that dude now. He's getting enclosed up. Yeah, everybody does a little something. Some people jig, some people do a slow retrieve, some people just do steady reel. I was jigging, Rustic. I had this 1/4 ounce jig with the bucktail. Well, it ain't focusing, but anyways, I was jigging for a while before I went live, and then I put on what I've been catching them on. I've had most success with the flicker shad this year. Rustic's a pro. I think I see Rustic catch more fish than anybody when he fishes. Them cats and them carps. He caught a bunch. Shoot, both rods, like musical rods sometimes. Most times, really. Why is my bait skirting across the surface? Come on now. Can't catch no fish skirting. Because we got a leaf. if we don't get nothing with this, I'm gonna throw something different on here in a few. How did that happen? Look at that mess. Anyways, I'm gonna throw this probably like a dozen more times, and if we don't get bit, we'll put something different on. It's gonna be dark soon. I told myself I'm not staying. I didn't even bring a headlamp, so don't get me wrong, we start catching fish, I'll stay a long time. But not catching fish, I didn't plan on staying too long. Yeah, I brought my drop net. It's in here. I didn't realize how high the river was. I could have just brought my my actual scoop net. Hey, John Joe, what's going on? The only thing I know for sure is that that lure is not heavy enough. That dude changed his lure and everybody's giving him crap. He caught a fish on his first cast, and then he changed his lure. Which I gotta say, that is a little weird. Catch a fish on your first. Dang, I didn't think it was that cold out here. And I didn't bring my silicone. At least I don't think I did. It might be in that bag, actually, now I think about it. Dang it, that second eye is icing up too. Yeah, baby. We gotta see if we got some silicone. Yep, we got some. Still got ice. Come on, get off here. Tara, what's happening? How you doing? Man, them were some fat sauger he caught. I'm surprised he's the only one to catch them. Usually if one person's catching them, everybody's catching them, because that means they're here, or they're feeding, you know what I mean? John Joe says he wants a steak. You know, I kind of do too. I was talking, I think it was this morning on Rustic's channel. Y'all were talking about buffets as usual, and I brought up USA Steak Buffet. They used to have a USA Steak Buffet. It was all the steak and chicken you could eat for $8. And not just steak and chicken, they had a whole buffet of everything. But, you know, the main entree was steak and chicken. And it was fresh steak too. Like, you'd walk up to the hibachi grill and you'd tell the dude how you wanted your steak, what kind of sauce you wanted on it, and he'd cook it for you right there. And you could go up and get as many steaks. If you wanted 100 steaks, you could eat 100 steaks, no joke. But they closed down. I think Golden Corral put them out of business. But that place was awesome. Anyone ever have a USA Steak Buffet where they live? Scott B in the house. One of your favorite songs. I bet y'all talking about John Denver. Country Roads, huh? I need a heavier lure. We might throw a heavier one on, actually. There's West Virginia right there. Old West Virginia. Yeah, we're gonna change. We're gonna put a heavier one on. Country roads, take me home to the place I belong. Put a split straw sinker. You know, Bugman, I do that sometimes, but it's almost a guarantee I'll lose my lure here because this is a floating. It floats. As soon as I stop reeling, it floats. So when I hit a rock or a log and I feel it, I stop and it'll raise up above it. If I put even the tiniest sinker on here, the tiniest, size of a BB, it will no longer float, it will sink. And it's a guarantee I'll only get one cast out of this before it's snagged. Because I've done it before and it does work, but it no longer will float. Like when I'm retrieving back, I'll hit like 20 things on one retrieve. And I stop reeling for a few seconds so it can come up above it. And I'll reel. If I feel it hit it again, I'll stop and let it raise higher. But putting that split shot on there, it'll be a goner. We'll never see it again. See, the wind caught that one. It went up there. All right, this is the last cast for that lure. You hear that, fish? This is your last chance to get some good plastic. Get you a nice bite of some plastic and metal. So if you're hungry and you want some plastic and metal, this is your last chance. There's some floaters out there. Look, there's one right there. Oh, I see somebody going with the net. Somebody running. Somebody got another one, I think. All right, we're changing. We're changing. Country road. Y'all got that song stuck in my head now. Stuck in my head. Oh yeah, somebody got one. Everybody skedaddled. They're measuring it. They got them, see them tape measures on the rail. Oh, did I do that? Oh no, I tied my Palomar knot around the beak of the... There we go. Oh, did I really just do that? Can someone teach me how to tie a knot? My granny knots aren't working. There we go. There we go. Cooking with peanut oil now. We're cooking now, boys and girls and undecideds. That thing don't cast no better. It weighs twice as much, but it's also twice as big, so the wind catches it and just lifts it up in the air. What's up, Glacier Shark? Hey, we just had a hit. We just had a bite. First bite of the day. Man, that thing's got some powerful thumping action. I almost feel like I can hear the rattles. That thing's not floating for some reason like it's supposed to. Hey, Finn, how you doing? That was funny earlier today when your kid comes in the tent and the first thing he says, well, your first problem is, well, your first problem is, I don't even remember what he said your first problem was. Oh, that's right. He was getting on you saying, because you was reeling it up to do something and you handed him the rod and he wasn't happy with your depth. I wish my kid got that excited and enthusiastic about fishing to where he was telling me what my problems was. My kid will fish just because I'll say, hey, you want to go fishing? But he doesn't, he won't like ask me to go or anything like that. Hopefully one day he will. And I feel like it's my fault because I never pressured him to, I never wanted to be that dad that was making the kid hold the fishing pole for an hour in the blistering sun, Like if he wanted to go play with the water or throw rocks or dig in them dirt, I let him. And I tell myself eventually, he'll come around to like fishing. And I thought especially after he gets on some good fish and reels them in and fights them and does it all as himself, he'll be hooked. Not yet. But like I said, I never pressured him or forced him to fish. But now that he's still not into it, I feel like, well, maybe I should have. But I never wanted to be that guy that's sitting there, yelling at the kid like, you have to fish. Like, I'd never done that. But it had the opposite effect. And then I bought a bunch of carp fishing stuff, thinking like all the different colored quarter corn. The pink and the green and the yellow, thinking that like, with all the different colors and like just making the pack bait, going and getting the ingredients, I just thought that maybe that would, something new, something fun, something colorful, that would get them hooked. And yeah, so far, everything I've done. And then I thought putting them on some big blue cats, reeling them in and tying the hook himself and fighting the fish and landing it and doing it all himself, that that would get him hooked. Nope. But he's still young, but I don't know. My bait's skirting across the water. Ain't gonna catch nothing like that. Well, that's not true. I caught a striper once, reeling in real quick because the line was tangled. Yeah, my kid, he likes going on the boat more than, like, he loves going on the boat, fishing, or not fishing, going on the boat, going on the jet ski, going swimming. Like, he'd be 100% happy with just swimming in the river all day. As soon as I bust out the fishing poles, I get this look. I get this look from him like, really? I thought we were swimming. I'm like, we are. We're swimming and fishing. All right, that was a good cast. Let's see if we can make something out of it. What's up, Pierre? Heather with the fish call. Crazy thing. I just seen some dude with a racing bike today. Actually, right up there. He was unloading it. I guess he rides, the scenic byway, they call it. Because you got the old state route that used to run right along, like right next to the highway. But then they built a new state route, the modern day one. But the old road still runs along Route 7, basically all the way down the Ohio River, like I think down past Marietta. But they call it the scenic byway, so there's a lot of people who bike, like the race bike, like the bikes with the skinny tires, with the funny looking handlebars. I was trying to, is that a fish or a snake? I was trying to think of that dude, Lance Armstrong. Yeah, no. Is that the astronaut or the bicycle dude? Lance Armstrong. The dude that had like testicular cancer. I think it's Lance Armstrong, but that kind of bike racing. There's a lot of them bikes. that ride up and down the scenic byway. So you talking like mountain bike racing, anything? Line's tangled again. It's skirting across the surface. I'm surprised no one's catching white bass and stuff. Stripers, usually when the water's up, them bass are in here thick. Yep, it's tangled. It's tangled and it's skirting. Or no, it ain't tangled. We just got some caca. I said I was gonna be out of here before. No, it is tangled. I told myself I was gonna be out of here before the sun went down, but then I seen that dude catching fish, and I know it's possible now. Now I want to catch me a fish. Catch me a fish. I actually found some trout in my freezer. I was looking for some deer meat, and I come across some trout that was dated, I don't know, I forget the month, like March 20, but either, the important thing is the date was the 24, the year 24. So sometime, in other words, it's still good. A whole bag of trout. I need to eat that before it's I mean, it's a little freezer burn because I didn't vacuum seal it, but I don't ever, you know, if I harvested it, I'll eat it no matter how, you know, no matter what. But yeah, I was surprised. I thought I ate all my trout from last spring trout fishing. "20 inches of snow? Jeez Louise, that's insane. I don't think we had 20 inches all year. My lure is on the surface again. What is going on? I know why that's happening. I'm trying to cast it too far. But normally, right under my feet, this is all rocks, solid dry ground. So I'm trying to get where the actual water normally is, you know. All right, we're all good. Let's see if we can cast that again. Yeah, I had no plans on going fishing today, but I got home from work, and I looked at the weather for the weekend, and it said 90% chance of rain the next 2 Saturday and Sunday. And the sun was shining through my window, and I said, well, you know what? We're gonna go fishing now for a little bit, because we might, if it's 90% chance of rain, and it's that bad rain, it's gonna be, the temperatures are gonna be in the 30s and 40s. You know, if it was in the 20s and snowing, I'm happy camper. But that cold, you know, you just can't get warm. You can't just, you know, I like it when it's snow and I can just brush it off me and I'm dry. So I seen that 90% chance of rain. So I said, we're going fishing. Here we are. Man, that's some weird, is that a fish? That's some weird stuff. It's feeling so weird. It's still feeling weird. I think I got something on my line. You know what? I don't know. I don't know what. I said I was gonna put a jig on, but it's getting late. I didn't bring a headlamp. My hands are froze. I think we're just gonna keep rocking what we got. Snake Madness. That's a new person. I like your icon. The green. I can't see what it is on this little cell phone screen, but I like the colors. It says, what's the game fish on that lake? Well, this we're going for sauger, walleye. But this is the Ohio River. It's got like over 100 species of fish. But the main thing you'll catch here is striped bass, white bass, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, stripers, walleye, sauger, catfish, paddlefish, crappie, bluegill, of course, carp. But the main thing people fish for here is striper, walleye, and catfish. Used to catch perch here like crazy. I haven't seen a perch in a long time. I haven't seen skipjack either. Used to catch perch and skipjack. Like you couldn't get away from them. And now I don't ever even see them no more. I didn't think that tiny dog was on a leash. I would say I'd be scared. I'd be scared it would fall in the water. But it's got one of them little thin ones where you push the button. That ain't good. Dog wants to chase the lure. Do striper fishing in Oklahoma. I got me my best striper ever this fall. It was 38 inches and 25 pound striper. It was at like 2 a.m. on my live stream and no one was even watching to see it. But it is on my live. I can't wait till it's warm and I can be out here on the jet ski catfishing. It's like my, I don't know if it's my favorite thing to do, because I love dragging baits on the boat, but I also love just getting dock demons and getting on the jet ski and drifting down the river, you know, without a care in the world. Every time I hear a dog bark, I think of Catfish Dave. Yeah, it's on Snake Madness. Yeah, it's on my live stream. It's hard to say. Or actually, the easier way to see the fish is I made a short out of it. If you scroll through my shorts, it's probably a thumbnail of me holding a huge striper at nighttime. It was in like October. I think late October. And the crazy thing is I didn't even know that body of water held stripers that big. After I caught it, I'm like, man, I want to hang up my catfishing boots and target stripers now. Like, I had no clue it held stripers that big. And I fished the lake for years and never caught a striper. And then all of a sudden, got me a monster. I caught a monster striper here too. Normally them are all rocks down there. I was standing on the rocks where the water is. The river's up like 15 feet. And I hooked up with this striper. It was so big and my reel started smoking. There's a short of the spool and reel smoking because it ripped out the drag so fast. It's the wildest thing ever. And I got the fish like 20 feet from the shore and I lost it. What happened was the striper got tangled up in the line and the hook came out, but the fish was still tangled. and it was like 20 feet from the shore. I was winching it in. It was on its side. Its pectoral fin was sticking like 4 inches out of the water, and it did one flop and turn, and it was gone. It come unhooked. And I thought about it long and hard, and I realized it got tangled up. The line got slacked. The jig came out of the mouth, but it was still tangled. And then when it rolled, it untangled, and it was free. Oh yeah, I forgot muskie. Muskie and pike are in here too, in abundance. Yeah, I was so heartbroken when that striper got off here. I tell myself it wasn't bigger than the one I got on the lake that was my PB, but I don't know. That's what I tell myself, so I can sleep at night, that it wasn't bigger than my PB striper. But all I know is I could see its pectoral fin when it was on its side, and it was sticking 4 inches out of the water. So if its pectoral fin was sticking 4 inches out of the water, and that fish is, 90% of it is down in the water, you gotta imagine how the size of that thing. What is going on with this lure? It keeps every cast, it keeps skirting across the surface. Like every cast, it gets tangled. I mean, I know why, it's windy, but I usually don't have that many problems. Look, see, tangled, it's upside down. Getting dark. Yeah, I'm about out of here. If you're still in here, Bob. I can't even see to get this untangled. I didn't bring any headlamp. I planned on being out of here by sundown, but then the guy next to me started catching some big old sauger, and that induced me to stay longer. Yeah, see, I can't even see to get that untangled. That's okay. We're gonna call it. Did it come untangled? No, I thought it did. You ever do that? You can't get a tangle out and you just give up and drop it and then it comes undone? I almost wish I came prepared now. I see that campfire down there. Nice toasty fire. Friday night. I almost wish I came with more than one pair of socks on and some gloves and a headlamp and some food. Oh, I always forget about the light on my phone. There we go. If we can get this untangled, we'll do a couple more casts. Yeah, it said 90% chance rain the next 2 days, so I don't know if I'll be doing any fishing or be live, but if I don't, I hope everybody has a good weekend and enjoys it. And if you don't, just remain hopeful and tell yourself warm weather and sunny days are right around the corner, which they are. I hope that dang groundhog doesn't see its shadow. I don't want 6 more weeks of winter. Has anyone ever been there, Punxsutawney Phil and Punxsutawney? I went there twice. One year was when alcohol, and keep in mind this is long ago in my, alcohol was part of my life days. But 1 year I went there and you could bring any coolers. You could bring any booze you wanted, as many coolers. You could bring anything you wanted into the event. And it was the time of my life. This was college days, keep in mind. But then the next year we all went back, and they're like, you can't bring coolers in. You can't do this. Yeah, we still stayed, but comparing it from 1 year to the other, it was such a letdown. I almost wish I never even went that second year, and I only had that 1 year to compare it to. because I was living in, normally I wouldn't go to Groundhog Day, but because I'm in Ohio, but at the time I was living in Indiana County in Pennsylvania. And you hear Indiana and you think Indiana the state, but not. In Pennsylvania there is a county called Indiana County, and west of that is where the Punxsutawney Phil, Punxsutawney is. So it was commonplace to go to the Groundhog Day party, and it wasn't just one day thing. I mean, you showed up the day before. It was like a whole several day party. Well, I forgot I had this light on my phone. I was cutting out, Heather, but I'm gonna stay for a few more minutes. What's my battery on? 40. Wow, can't believe my battery's on 49%. Usually when I use this Bluetooth mic, it drains the battery like blink of an eye. That's kind of weird. It's not. Yep, we're freezing up too on the tip. That's another reason I can't get no cast on. My silicone wore off. That's why the ice is sticking. You in here still, any Finn? I heard I was watching, who was I watching? I mean, it was Ed Evans and Linda, but whose show was that last night? Oh, Dustin's, Snagging Whiskers. And Ed was saying, you guys are renting an RV and driving to Florida and fishing along the way. If you're in here still, that sounds so freaking awesome. Stopping and fishing at places you've never fished, like virgin waters the whole way there and the whole way back. Like, my lure's floating skirting on the surface again. I keep seeing that green Snake Madness icon and thinking it's Pontoon Jody. Because hers is like green like that. I don't know why that keeps tangling. I mean, I've fished in the wind before and I've never had it tangle that much. Like, usually this happens if you put like a split shot on and the weight, is not off, but there's no split shot. I don't know why that's doing that. I know if I had a leader, mono or fluoro leader, it wouldn't do that. I think I forgot this is 6-pound braid. It's so thin. That's why it just keeps getting wrapped, It did it again. It's kind of hard not to get mad when it does that every cast. It's skirting on the surface again because it's tangled. Some days things just aren't meant to be, and that's just how it is. It's just how it is, y'all. It didn't even look tangled, but I jerked the rod and it's tangled now. It's tangled now. I should have went fishing earlier, like afternoon. They're doing work on the power lines and they shut the power off to my work. It's 2 days in a row now. I stayed working with, I have some lithium under hood lights, so I stayed working. But as soon as those lights died, I just went home. But as soon as they cut that power off, I should have just said heck with it and went fishing. We would have had more daylight. All right, let's see if it's on the surface. All right, it's not tangled. Let's see if we can get a fish now. Heather's still here. Thanks, Heather. Thank you, thank you. I get home, I gotta take dog for a walk, long walk. We didn't throw the ball today, so he's got a bunch of energy that needs burned off. It's gonna be a day and night difference having a German Shepherd compared to a Great Dane. I used to bring my Great Dane here. She would just lay. I'd bring her bed, set it there. She would just lay balled up in a ball for hours the whole time while I fish. A German Shepherd, they're not gonna just sit there. They're gonna be running all over the place. You know what I just realized, and it's pretty bad. I realized it when I'm about to leave. I barely tried to cast that lure that time, and it went soaring so far. Like the littlest effort, that thing went twice the distance. I've been trying to cast it and get it out there, and it's been having the opposite effect. Oh, we're snagged. I hope I get that back. Motion detected at my house. It's not good. Here, fishy kitty, walleye, anything that will bite. Oh, we're snagged again. Please come free. Please come free. Alright, it come free. It's always a bummer when you lose a lure that you only got to use like once or twice. I used to use Erie Dearies here. I'd actually cast them and retrieve them back, but the Erie Dearies are heavy. You know, they're 1/2 ounce, 3/4 ounce, 1 ounce, and them things get snagged so quick. I bet you I lost 3 or 4 dozen Erie Dearies out here before I realized you just can't use them here. Yeah, I said I was leaving before sundown, but I tell you, you get out here, listening to that water, it's peaceful. The waves crashing behind you, the white water out there, the birds, it's very peaceful. Makes you just want to stay forever. I'll probably go home, and I've been watching Leave It to Beaver, the old black and white TV show. Either watch some Leave It to Beaver, or I got a couple Catfish Dave episodes I ain't watched yet, and even better, I got a couple Hagen Grubbs episodes I haven't watched yet. I'd like to get one fish, just for the people that's been watching. But Mother Nature, she says no. No fish for you. I wish I would have changed my lure now. I didn't know I was going to be here past dark. We'll give it a few more casts. And by a few, I mean 3. It's starting to snow now, unless that was ash. I don't think it was ash. That fire's not going that big. I'm surprised we didn't even get some little, dink sauger. That's what I mean. This year's just been off for the walleye and sauger. Usually you catch so many of them little tiny sauger, like 10 inches and under. You just, you're happy when they come undone and, unhook themselves and you don't have to even get them up here. And now, this year, I'd be bummed if I caught a little dink and I didn't get it up here to get hands on it. It's definitely a major difference from last year to this year. But it's still an awesome place to fish no matter what, so it's all good. All good in the neighborhood. Oh. Our lure is tangled again. This is like the day of tangles. Does that count as a cast? I said 3 more casts. We got tangled. Does it count? Does it count? Does it count? We'll count it as a half cast. How about that? Half a cast. Alright, that one's not tangled. Let's get it down the bottom. See if we can't get a fish. Scott B still watching. He says, nope, try again. Alright, we won't count it. So we'll do 2 more casts. That'll make 3. 2 plus 2 is 3. Yeah, I can't believe we didn't get something. Like, usually when you're throwing these flicker shads or them X-wraps, they got them rattles and that vibration. It usually attracts something. I'd be happy with a drum. That's pretty bad. Be happy with a drum. Alright, last cast. Last cast. Watch us get a 30-inch walleye on our last cast. Wouldn't that be something? not looking good, y'all. That's okay. There's always tomorrow. Our line's frozen anyways. Look, I opened my bail and it doesn't even drop down. See how it's slacked? Because we're froze up. That's alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Ouch, I got a hook in my finger. How heavy was that? Half ounce. Sure didn't feel like a half ounce, let me tell you. Couldn't cast that thing no matter what. It's the thing with the wind. You get a windy day, this acts like a sail, or airplane wing. Your wind catches that. I'm not even kidding. Like, it was going up in the air higher than it was going out. Because the wind would catch it and it would just go whoop. Okay. Yeah, I kind of wish I was tying something else on. But I didn't come prepared to stay out here in the cold. I don't have any gloves. I don't have a headlamp. I got one thin pair of no-show socks on. My ankles are exposed. It's a little nippy. But that's okay. Maybe the weatherman will be wrong and it won't be the 90% chance of rain. Maybe it won't be a 90% chance of rain. Maybe it'll be a 90% chance of it won't rain. Hey, you know what I always wondered? When they say like 90% rain, does that mean there's a 90% chance that it will rain at some point in the day? Or does that mean it's gonna rain 90% of the day? Anyone know the answer to that? 90% rain. Does that mean it's gonna rain 90% of the day? Or 90% chance it will rain at some point in the day? Anybody know? If I was personal friends with any weathermen, I would ask them. Man, this is always, why do they make it so difficult to get that line in there? There we go. There we go. We got her. We got her. Maybe. There we go. We got her. It's locked down. 90% chance it will rain. Scott's opinion. Heather tried to call him for us. Yeah, you sure did. It didn't work. I kind of feel bad for everyone that's watched this winter, me fishing here. Get me on the boat. I'm a fishing machine. Get me on the bank. I'm out of my element, which is kind of sad to say because, you know, bank fishing's where we all started. But getting fishing on the boat, it spoils you. I'm gonna kill this light. But yeah, fishing on the bank, it spoils you. Or fishing on the boat spoils you. Y'all have a good night.
If you do, take it easy.
Have a good one. Got the heated coat. Yeah, It definitely spoils you fishing on the boat. When I was a kid, I could come here and catch fish constant, anytime. And it makes you wonder, did the fishing change? Have a good one. Yep. Oh, I feel the heat from that fire just walking near it. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, just walking near that fire, I could feel that heat. I was like 10 feet away. Even the smoke felt warm. But yeah, when I was a kid, I used to come here and, you know, catch 10 different species of fish and a bunch of them. And that's not the case no more, and it makes me wonder, did the fishing change here, or did I change? You know, because you don't realize it. I better slow down. Better slow my roll. I just about went backward. You don't realize it, but even if you think you have patience, it's very easy to begin to lose your patience when you're fishing and not catching them. Like, you may think you're keeping your cool, but like, even if you don't, you know, complain and moan and groan about not catching them, and you're keeping your cool, like, without even knowing it, I'm out of breath. You start losing your patience just by reeling faster, not giving it time to settle, sink to the bottom. Just little things that all add up, but you don't even realize, you know. But it just makes me wonder, like, did I just have more patience as a kid? Or is it because I had more time? Anyways, I gotta go to the bathroom, so I'm gonna end it. Everyone that watched, thanks. Shoot, I forget the dude's name from the very beginning. He said he was gonna stay in here and watch. I doubt he stayed this long, but shoot, I didn't even see Skip Jackson. He did come in. But anyways, everyone that watched, thanks. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm cutting it short. Catch y'all later. Have a good night.